I really can't believe this thing works. My name is Elizabeth. Elizabeth Quick. It's September. I don't know the date. Day of the week. No idea. Year. Irrelevant. But we'll call it 1. Yeah, we'll call it 1. Year 1. Because this isn't an end of the world story. It's a beginning. That's Darwin. Hey, Dar. She knows what I mean about the beginning, and she's telling me to lighten up. You know, I found her in the woods a few weeks ago, asleep, curled up inside an old dead tree. Yeah, did you know horses like to curl up like that, like a dog on the couch? That they even could do that? I don't think they could. Not before. Not before. And also, she's got some little sprouts coming up behind her collarbones. I think they're wings. Okay, yeah, I'm aware of what that sounds like, what I sound like. But hear me out. I believe that it's not just the ecosystem that shifted with the sudden dive in human population, but so has evolution. Jumping genes with a G. There are things out here. Oh man, there are things out here that are just astonishing. Amazingly, almost mystically astonishing and weird. Plants, animals, things that are neither plants nor animals. And maybe it's humans getting knocked out of the way, but it's also definitely the stuff in the air, because it changes everything, every body, just not predictably. And you're assuming I mean it changes them in bad ways. And yeah, it can be bad. And you know what? The jury is still out on all my change. Good, bad, ugly. And there is definitely plenty of bad out here, which is why I have to avoid the main roads, the main anything. But you know what? Sometimes this change is more necessary, because things were just not right, and we needed the goddamn change. We needed it. And sometimes you're getting way ahead of yourself, just sitting out here alone with a can of asparagus, easily the worst of the canned vegetables, and this old Radio Shack tape recorder you found, complete with mixtape collection, and a note was with it, written in mostly gibberish, but it made just enough sense for me to know it's a suicide note. So yeah, people changed. Okay, did the recorder pick that up? Yeah, that's not human. People still scream, just not like that. They sound artificial now. I might even be the only one who hears it that way. I'm not a doctor, or a shrink, or a damn evolutionary biologist. I just used to draw for a living. I mean, they were scientific illustrations. I did a book on the nervous system, freshwater fauna of Central America. That was one of my favorites. Plants, 3 books on plants, actually. Yeah, so I know a thing or a million about plants. Lots of animals. And fungi. Yeah, I know a lot about fungi, which are distinctly not plants or animals. And maybe now they brought us down and I didn't know enough to stop it. So yeah, I'm just an artist and a wife and a mom, and I took a mixed martial arts class once. Yeah, I mean, I did. I was those things. Now I survive. And I search. And I draw still, because that's what I did before. I drew to leave a record, a tribute to the ingenuity of nature. And I guess now I can do that with my voice, observe, record. Who am I, right? That's what you're wondering. What makes me qualified? I don't know. I mean, my husband, Tom, used to say I paid too much attention to everything, that I looked so closely I found things that weren't even there. Yeah, that was actually the last thing that he said to me before he got up from his laptop a year ago, and jumped out of our 8th floor window. I don't think he was trying to hurt himself. I think he was trying to fly. And when he hit the ground, he didn't die right away. He ran right up until an out-of-control Amazon Prime truck slammed into him. He ran on 2 legs that were so shattered. One knee was completely backwards, and his ankle trailed behind him like it was on a string, which I guess was a tendon or something. And the whole time he ran, he screamed. So I know people still scream, but not like that, not even close to that. People scream like they forgot how. Hey, Dar. Yeah, I agree. That's enough of that for tonight. Hey, you want some asparagus? It tastes like slimy shit. I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if I can do this. Elizabeth Quick here. It's been a couple days since whatever this is I'm doing. I'm going to start a fire while we talk. I found this book I want to read today. Gotta have some light, and the flint, it calms me down. Something about the repetitive, violent motion. Meditative and aggressive, just like my mixed martial arts class. And I wanted to say that I didn't just take that class once. I took it for an entire year, right up until, and I was actually a total natural. Really should be better at making a fire by now. Shit. Tom, my husband Tom, always did the fire when we used to camp in college. And then even once we had our daughter and she'd be crying for warmed up formula, he'd be banging 2 rocks together to make a spark. I found this flint kit when I raided an REI, but Tom, he just needed rocks. I should have appreciated that more at the time, paid more attention to that. You want to give up? Okay, yeah, go on, give up. Who's here to care? Who's here to care? Just give up. Just give. Oh, okay. There it is. There it is. We got it. Now we got it. There the hell it is. You haven't lived till you've sat by firelight and read books on animal tracking at the end of beginning of the world. There's a whole chapter just on poop. This book was just laying on the ground in the middle of nowhere, all by itself. A sign, divine intervention, if you believe in that, which I don't. Yeah, this book was laying there because it thinks it needs to help me, because it thinks I've given up on June. Junebug. She's my kid. Have I talked about my kid? Hang on. I want to talk about June. Junie. She's my daughter. She's 17 years old, and I depending on the date, she might be 18. I don't know what date it is. I do know that June disappeared 2 weeks after her dad's accident. We were in the parking lot of a of a strip mall. I'm sorry, forgive me. My memory is. Yeah, we were trying to get something to eat, anything, and people were running, screaming, fighting with each other. There was a lady trying to assemble a Barbie dream house in the middle of the road, and I remember a naked man smashing windshields with a Vitamix, and I don't know, I got distracted. I suddenly couldn't find her. Judy! June! Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh my God. Yeah, anyway, that's what I said. June is the smartest, most empathetic kid. Funny as hell, funnier than me. Observant like me. She's also had anxiety like me since she could talk, walk, breathe. Anxiety disorder, sensory processing issues, all things I could make worse for her with my own hamster wheel brain. So this night, this awful night, when I couldn't find her, I was sure I'd spot her on the ground, cowered someplace, like under the minivan or in the fetal position in the cart drop-off. But instead, I saw her in the wide open. She doesn't like the wide open. She never chooses the wide open, but there she was, maybe 100 feet away from me, standing, not cowering, not even scared, just still. She's never still. And then suddenly everybody around her scattered, like birds from a tree. It was so strange. And then June was all alone. Oh, well, she was all alone, except she wasn't. What? June was not alone because there was a wolf. A huge wolf. This wolf was the size of a bison. This wolf came up to my kid's shoulders. Even that early into this whole thing, animals were changing. And that wolf and my daughter were staring at each other, eyes locked. And I could see both of their chests heaving as if they were breathing very hard, very fast, in unison. And again, I tried to scream, and then it just came out, Junie, what are you doing? And then the wolf turned and started to walk toward the road, and I'm sure I was relieved then. I thought, okay, we're okay. But then, so did my girl. She started walking toward the road after the wolf. June, look at me! But she didn't. Why didn't she? Did she not hear me? Or did she just choose not to look at me? I think I started to get my air back in my lungs, and my legs started to work again a little, and then somebody pushed me down into the ground, into the asphalt. I don't know, my lips were scraped, and my cheek was scraped, all the skin was scraped off. I must have been held down against my will, or why else wouldn't I run after her? Why wouldn't I have just taken off and run after her and gotten her? I can't remember anything else after that. I can't remember anything else from that night, from a few other nights. More and more nights. Is it the dust? Is it me being a shit mother? Yeah, I'm definitely a shit mother. Do you ever wonder why you keep going? Yeah, I wondered that all my life, even before all this happened. I wondered it about everything. And oh my God, that is a wolf. That's the first wolf I've heard in 9 months. Oh, God help me. God help me. God help that wolf, and God help anybody who gets in my